Good evening and welcome to Perspectives. Today we celebrate the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Since the 8th century, Christians have believed that Mary's natural death, also called the Dormition by Eastern Christianity, achieved a stable union with God, and thus her mortal body took on immortality. In celebration of today's feast, Pope Francis traveled by helicopter to Castel Gandolfo. There he celebrated Mass for local residents. During the homily, Pope Francis focused on three key words from today's readings: struggle, resurrection, and hope. He said that the passage from Revelation presents the vision of struggle between the woman and the dragon. The figure of the woman, it representing the Church, is on the one hand glorious and triumphant, and yet on the other still in travail. Thus, the Church is already in some way associated with the glory of God, but in another sense continually lives through the trials which comes from the conflict between good and evil. He encouraged the faithful to pray the Rosary every day in this battle against evil. Secondly, he reminded the faithful that being Christian means believing in the resurrection. Our whole faith is based upon this fundamental truth, which is not an idea, but an event. And thirdly, he said that hope is the virtue of those who, experiencing the struggle between life and death, good and evil, believe in the victory of love. He cited the Magnificat as an example of Mary's hope. The Mass concluded with the traditional recitation of the Angelus. During the Angelus address, the Pope lamented the painful news of violent crackdown by security forces in Egypt. He assured the victims and their families of his prayers and prayed for peace, dialogue, and reconciliation. After a full day in Castel Gandolfo, the Holy Father returned to the Vatican. To read the full text of Pope Francis's homily and much more, visit news.va. The crisis in Syria and the surrounding countries is worsening, and there is a growing number of families in dire need. Caritas Lebanon is working with refugees from all religious backgrounds to provide healthcare, food, and shelter for the most vulnerable. Development and Peace has launched an emergency appeal to support Caritas Lebanon in its work among victims of the war.
عشنا كله خوف، كله رعب. القذايف حولنا وحوالينا وكل يوم ننهزم على منطقة. شو بدك أحسن؟ وتركنا بلادنا وتركنا أرضنا وتركنا كل شيء. وجوزي فات وما بعرف عايش ميت ما بعرف. هلا ما مشغول على مستقبل أولادي وعم مستقبل جوزي ما بعرف عنه شيء. كيف شو مصيرنا احنا؟ ليك على الوضع وليك على الحال. شو بدنا نسوي؟ ما احنا عارفين شو بدنا نسوي.
In Bekaa Valley, yes, there are a lot of Syrian refugees coming daily, and we can see that in our center, and every day we have about 50 new families coming and ask for assistance.
خفت على اولادنا من القصف، خفنا من الضرب يعني لانه كثير قدامنا اولاد تصاوبوا، اولاد انه فقدوا عضو من اعضائهم، عاد هذا اللي خوفنا.
Caritas is giving them food kits, hygienic kits, summer blankets, bedding supplies and towels.
جيت على كاريتاس حكمتهم والحمد لله صاروا أحسن، ودوالي إياهم الطبيب وعطوني أدوية من هنا والحمد لله تحسنوا علي.
We are face to face with a big crisis, and the number of mobile clinics is so low. For that, we need more medical help, more practitioners, more nurses, more medications to be able to see the number of patients.
بتمنى من السلام وارجع على بلدنا، يعني نرجع نعيش ببلدنا مثل ما كنا نرجع نعيش ببلدنا والسلام يعني فيها يعني.
You'll be pleased to hear that the Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops is now on Twitter. Be the first to know of new church appointments and important news about the Canadian Church. See the screen for their handle or visit the Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops website for more. This fall, you are invited to journey in the footsteps of Christ on a Salt and Light pilgrimage to the Holy Land. From November the 8th to the 18th, journey to Israel and Jordan for a week-long pilgrimage of prayer, reflection, and sightseeing. With the help of the trip's spiritual director, Father Peter Sabbath, this voyage through the Holy Land is meant to strengthen one's faith and understanding of Christ by traveling to the same places he did more than 2,000 years ago. And that's it for tonight. From all of us at Salt and Light, good night and God bless.